So let's get started in that case with this Basecamp overview. What I will do is I will show you through a share screen how I access my Basecamp, how I share my evaluations, and how I get my feedback. If at any point you find something confusing or unclear, please interrupt me and ask a question. If not, once we get to the end, you can ask them questions and maybe you can delve a little bit deeper into any particular issues you may have. So I'm going to share my screen with you now, where I have navigated to the Toastmasters International website. And if you haven't done this before, we have to log in. The only way to access Basecamp is if you log in as a member. The email login is the email address with which you registered with Toastmasters. As soon as you register with Toastmasters, they will send you a link to set up a password to be able to access the Toastmasters International. And I read somewhere a joke recently that there is a bot sitting on the password manager that checks how fast you type. And if you type too fast, it says it's an error, even if you typed it incorrectly.
Oh, wow.
It was a joke. It was a joke. Okay.
Oh,
now,
good.
depending
I thought you were serious. I'm like, no.
Depending on your level of commitment to Toastmasters, you may have more than just these 3 tiles. When you become a club officer, you may get access to Leadership Central. Nonetheless, all members have access to the section My Education Achievements, and one of them is the Basecamp. Feel free in your free time to explore what's in the Learning Hub and in the Achievement Board, but for today's purposes, we'll just go and have a look at Basecamp. When you click on the big Basecamp tile, it'll take you to your dashboard. Now, the dashboard is the first place that quite often members find it a little bit confusing, a little bit overwhelming, because they're not sure where they need to click on next. As you can see, I have my active project here, and there's a little bit of a note here whether the project is in progress or whether I'm simply registered for it and haven't progressed yet. And it also lists your completed paths. Now, most members will only have a single active pathway. If you're a little bit like me, and I'm sure this is the case with Marie and many other senior Toastmasters, they may have multiple paths. If not all paths are shown, you can click on the View All and it will display all of the paths you are currently undertaking. I've recently started, believe it or not, my 5th path called Presentation Mastery, which is for many people their first path. So I started this path. So I'm going to click on this path. And the tabs across the top, I'll take you back to that shortly. When you click on the path, on the panel on the left, you are shown your selected path progress. It tells you how much of it is complete, and then it shows you an overview. If you have used Basecamp before, it will take you to the last page that you had open. If not, it will take you to the first page. So I'm going to pretend I'm a brand newie to Toastmasters. I'm undertaking my level 1 icebreaker project. So normally you will log in and you'll see it displayed like this with a little caret to show you that you can open the details of the project. So I will open up icebreaker. And as you progress through each page, you will see that there's a tick to show you that you have already viewed this page and you've reviewed all items on it. But let's pretend I haven't. So I'll go back to the icebreaker and I'll move on to the main page and I'll progress with learning about my project. You also have on the first page the resources, which you can download and print out if you need to. You have the project checklist. Not all projects have these, but some do. You have the evaluation resource. You can print the entire project if you want to read it on the train or the bus. And you have some other resources, and depending on the project, you have different resources there. Many clubs encourage the members to print the evaluation resource and bring it to the meeting, or at the very least, download it and email it to your evaluator. And that is perfectly fine. However, there is a simplified process, and I'll show you at the end of this project how you can send your information to the evaluator without ever printing it out or downloading it to your computer. Having said that, it still may be a good practice to download it so you can read it while you are offline. So I'm going to navigate through each page of the project. and demonstrate to you some of the ways you can read the information. For example, on this part 1, get started, you'll see that there are carrots here as well to show you that you can open and read more information. Right, so I'll read through the information. There are also links throughout the projects that will take you to another section of the project. For example, this link here will tell you how to go, will take you to the member feedback. But we'll just keep navigating through the project. It's a little bit to read. Page 3 usually tells you about your assignment. So this is what the purpose of this project is and what you should be doing to achieve that purpose. Now, this is of vital importance, and I've been to clubs where they completely ignore this. It is of vital importance for the evaluator to state the purpose of this project to all the members at your meeting so that everyone knows what it is that you're trying to achieve, and all of them in their own mind can determine, have you met the objectives? If you have, then they can learn from it. Alternatively, they can say, no, I think you could improve, and then give you further feedback further to what the evaluator will provide you. As a side note, the evaluator is also learning how to give evaluations. We don't really have certified experts in Toastmasters. So it is a great idea to ask a mentor or a senior member to also give you feedback every single time you deliver a speech. If you take somebody like Marie, who's been in Toastmasters for many years, quite often she will be asked to be evaluated by somebody who hasn't been at Toastmasters for very long. And that's why she will ask somebody who is more experienced to also give us some feedback, because even Marie can and wants to improve in her presentations. So let's now flick back to the first part of progressing, or to progress further with your project, and that is you assess and reflect. Most projects will have this, where you assess what you already know and what you think you need to learn. Many of these are also interactive, where you can actually add new items. I know how to structure a speech, and I can save this in my assessment. I wonder how to add humor to a speech. So you can make a little note for yourself, which is valuable for when you come back to reevaluate yourself. But it also can be very valuable 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the track, where you reflect, hang on, I'm just doing my second path now. What did I do my icebreaker the first time around? Have I actually learned and achieved things? So this is a great idea, great interactive way to leave notes for yourself. This page tells you about the competencies, what you can expect to learn while undertaking this project. And again, it is a great idea at the end of this project, once you've delivered your speech, once you've received your feedback, to go back and say, okay, did I learn to develop the skills needed to accept feedback graciously? If not, let's make a mental note and let's focus on that in my next speech. So now we'll click on next. And again, in this, we have sections which we can open up and read a little bit more about this project. Click through. Often projects will have a resource such as a video that you can watch embedded in the project. Many members skip through it. This is only a 3-minute video. It's not a lot of time to sacrifice to learn from somebody much more experienced. And I find that these 3-minute sacrifice can give you a vast improvement in delivering your speech, far more so than any other activity. And it's just worth doing it. It also explains what the purpose of the resource like the evaluation, the outline worksheet is, so that you can get more out of it. Okay, so as we're progressing, we're seeing that there's a lot more we can read. We can open up more sections and read more about them. It also has another way of getting more information, that is through tiles. If you click on these tiles, you'll also get a little bit more. But these are more of a harmonica style tiles, where if you open one, the previous one closes so you don't get distracted. Some projects take a little bit longer to go through than others, although it is recommended that you sit through the project all in one go. So find about an hour or so to yourself. However, I understand that we all live in a very fast-paced world. We might not find an hour free, or we may get interrupted. At any time, if you close this window, your progress will be saved. So next time you come back to this project, you'll be able to see which parts you have actually completed or not. And I think I must not have completed this one. Yes, I didn't watch the video, so that's why that's showing as not having been completed. Okay, so let's now, we've done this, so let's go on to next. Okay, we've got more information that we can read through. Another link to the evaluation and feedback, but we're going to do this linearly, and I'll demonstrate at the very end how the feedback works. These tiles, I think, are a turnaround tile. So every time you click on this, you get a little bit more information about a particular skill in this speech. Now, there's a recommendation to meet with your evaluator. And again, we live in a very time-conscious world, but really meeting with your evaluator for 5 minutes before the meeting. This can be done, arrive 10 minutes earlier, or arrange a Zoom call a day before, because it can really elevate the kind of feedback you get. If you make it clear to the evaluator, look, I really want you to focus on these items, but I also want you to focus on my body language. I don't know what to do with my hands. So can you give me some feedback on that as well? It's a great idea to meet with your evaluator and, of course, with your mentor. It's a great idea to meet with your mentor before your speech. It's actually a great idea to meet with your mentor before you do any role in the Toastmasters Club, just to get the benefit of their experience. Okay, so we'll click onto the next tab, and we're on the review and apply section of this project. So here, again, you've got the capacity to interact with it. For example, you can write on here some strategies you can use to balance preparation and spontaneity when delivering your speech. You can save this, and I believe this persists for the duration of this part. You'll be able to go back and read this through. So there, again, you can use this as little or as much as you wish, depending on how much you want to get out of it and how much time you have available to do this. Click on next. Okay, and this section called complete your assignment just gives you a reminder of what the purpose of the project is, what the overview of this project is, and what you need to do. Then it gives you a little checklist, and again, use this at your own discretion, a checklist that the things you should do in order to prepare for the delivering of your speech, and you can add new tasks as well. So if you want to add something else, like for example, practice this in front of my mentor. So you can add this and tick it off when you've done it. It also explains what the criteria are for the scoring evaluation you get back. Now, the scoring is out of 5, and most of us feel that we should get at least 4, 4.5, maybe even 5, in order to achieve the purpose of this project and gain the competencies required from it. However, if you notice that number 3 already says accomplish. So Toastmasters international evaluations are a stretch evaluation. If you receive a 3, that means you have met the objectives and you have learned the competencies delivered through this project. 4 and a 5 is usually reserved for somebody who shows exemplary skills in that particular field, either because they've done this project numerous times, or they're a very quick learner, or have experience from somewhere else. So don't be dismayed if you get all 3s. All 3s means you've achieved it. I actually like getting 2s as well, because that means, I actually need to focus on this. So if I get a 5, a 4, a 3, and a 2, I go, okay, this I don't need to look at anymore. But this bit, I do need to look at a little bit more, and hopefully next time I'll get a 3 out of this. And again, you need to understand that the evaluators are also learning to evaluate. So ask your mentor for feedback when you do get a 2 or a 4 for that matter, and say, Marie, somebody gave me a 5 for my body language. Do you think I deserve that? Or somebody gave me a 2 for my vocal variety. What do I need to do to improve? There's far more to be gained from those conversations with your mentor often than you will just get from the evaluation. So there are a couple more links here, which I'm not going to click on at the moment. Feel free to explore that in your own free time. I'm just going to linearly go through the project. Now, this page, reflect on your learning, should really be done after you've at least learned your speech. It doesn't have to be done after you've presented it, but after you've written it, after you've applied all the learnings, after you've practiced delivering it. This should really be done after this. Even though it says here, once you complete your icebreaker, I actually recommend doing this just before and again, just after you've delivered your speech. The reason why I recommend doing this before, because I think that the next page should also be done before you do your speech. Okay, because in this speech, you can enter the title of your speech, the date, the club at which you'll be delivering if you have multiple clubs, and who your evaluator will be. And so if you enter all these and you click on save an email, your evaluator will automatically get an email saying to them, this is the project that your speaker will be delivering, and this is the evaluation resource. They don't actually need to print the resource or even download it. They can give you your feedback online, and you will receive your feedback online. So once we've done all this, the final part is, before you complete the project, is to just review your learning. Just go back through the project if you have the time, just to review again, have I got everything I can out of it? And finally, when you've done that, you can complete your project. So I actually did deliver this project a week ago. So I confidently say that, yes, I have confirmed this project. All right, so let's see where that takes me. It will take me probably back to the overview. Okay, and it's updated the progress to 10%. And it should say somewhere, not here. Okay, so I'll go back to, in the breadcrumbs here, I will go to presentation mastery, which is the project I'm undertaking, the path rather. And you will see for each level which projects you have completed. Right? So you'll see that I've completed 2 projects already in level 1. I haven't completed any in level 2 and any in level 3. As you can see, from level 3 onwards, there are electives. So you can select which projects you want to complete as electives. Okay, and you've got minimum of 2 required at level 3. I believe at level 4, there's only 1 elective, and level 5, there's only 1 elective, I believe. But please don't hold me to it. You can find out when you get to it. Right, so now I'm going to go back to my home for the time being, because I want to demonstrate to you the feedback section of Basecamp. Right? So if I click on feedback, this is the feedback that's been given to me freely by other members. You can actually log in at any time and give feedback, and what I would probably call unsolicited feedback, to a member who delivered a role or a project at your club. And you can actually see the evaluation feedback. So you can see which feedback I have received. Here we were. Dorothy Chanakira completed my evaluation online. I did not need to print it. I don't need to download it. I don't need to upload it. It's all stored safely, securely in the one platform. And that's about all there is for the use of Basecamp. I've noticed you didn't interrupt me at all. So either you knew everything already, or I was really good at explaining everything. So
yes,
do you have any questions
really good
now?
at explaining everything. So I've done my icebreaker, but I can see that I didn't finish off properly. I need to go back and do that. So that was great. And yeah, it all makes sense. Oh, I said an you didn't say any, I noticed.
I didn't say any.
You didn't say any ums or ahs, but I just
practice, long time practice.
It's very fluent.
I will actually share my screen with you just one more time, because there's one more thing I want to demonstrate.
And there's one thing to add.
Yes.
Having had someone where I sent them the evaluation form and they said I didn't get it, it's because it went to junk mail. So that's going to happen with people because it's coming from a system rather than a personal email. So what I would recommend is still use the system, but just ping them a text, WhatsApp, and just say, oh, by the way, I've sent you my feedback form, because they do get notified by email, even though they can just go into Basecamp. But just something to keep in mind.
Great advice, great advice. And the good thing about it is, if they do it once, and in most clients, and flag that email as not junk, all future emails won't go to junk either. So they only have to do it once.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just one final thing I want to share with you, and that is after you've completed every project in a particular level, you will need to submit a level completion. Okay. So I can't do this yet because I haven't completed all three projects within this level. But once I have, I will select the club, if you're with multiple clubs, which I want to approve my level completion and give them credit for the Distinguished Club program. This will automatically send a message to the club Basecamp managers, who then come into Basecamp as managers and will approve my level completion. You don't have to wait until you've completed all of level 1 speeches, and you don't have to wait until your completion is approved before you try out a level 2 project. I would not recommend undertaking project 2 levels until you've finished level 1, because they all build on each other. And if you do a level 2 project before you've completed level 1, you don't necessarily have the skills that you need to succeed in level 2. However, there's nothing stopping you from reading ahead what to expect in level 2, level 3. Okay, do you have any questions?
I do actually. So when I did my icebreaker, I got a verbal evaluation, and so can I just capture that, or do I now ask my evaluator to go and do that online? It was quite a while ago.
So technically speaking, a written evaluation is mandatory in Toastmasters.
Okay.
Hence why many clubs recommend that the speaker print the evaluation form and bring it and put it in the hand of the evaluator.
I did do that.
And until well, you went to know it was your icebreaker.
Yeah.
But until your club develops a culture where you don't have to do that, I would probably still suggest that you do this for the first 2 or 3 speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Until you have a club culture where you know this is what is expected of you.
Okay.
We have quite a few online members in my club, members who can't attend in-person meetings. So we already expect that we're going to be sending each other the evaluation requests, right? But again, before that embeds in your club, and bear in mind that every year, possibly half your members are brand new. It's a great idea at the very beginning to say, like, this is my project, this is my speech, please give me written feedback. With your speech, which was quite a while ago, if you recall who it was, feel free to have a chat with them, and feel free to feel free to ask them to make some notes. But I would probably suggest, if it's too far back, just ask them to give you feedback on your second speech as well. So not your assigned evaluator, but the person who evaluated your icebreaker, just as punishment. Please give me feedback as well.
Okay, that makes sense. And then I did get feedback from my mentor as well on my icebreaker, so that was good. But again, it was verbal, and I've also never heard of the scoring system in an evaluation since I joined the club. I've never heard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's fine. Look, there are so many things going on in people's lives, and sometimes Toastmasters takes a backseat, and we put in the minimum we can. But if you want to get the most out of it, I'd recommend becoming familiar.
So that's something we point out. The rating system is really only for the written feedback. It is not something that people are encouraged to share as part of the verbal feedback. So the verbal feedback you've been getting, it's about commendations and recommendations and very practical suggestions on how to improve. The rating is more for just that personal reflection.
Okay, that makes sense. And maybe it has been on written evaluations, but because I didn't get one, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No, you hold your evaluators to account. And sadly, at the moment, the onus is more on you. But I had someone recently, it was an online meeting, but I was asked to speak at short notice, and I just didn't have time to get an evaluation form to her. So she gave me the feedback online. I then sent straight afterwards the form, and she then took the opportunity to fill it in while her mind was still fresh, and she probably had some notes handy. So it's not the end of the world to do it after the fact, but it's harder when it's been a while since the feedback was given. And there's no requirement in Basecamp to capture that feedback.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
I'm going to share one more tidbit with you, something that will perhaps make you stand out with every member in the club. I'm going to share my screen again. I've already shown you the page where you access the feedback, where you can get feedback, where you can read the feedback that members have given you, where you can read the formal evaluation feedback, and by the way, also access all the evaluation resources. But you can also, if you go to member feedback, you can give feedback. And you can select the club, select a member, give them some verbal feedback, as well as some motivational badges, recognizing their skills, and choose whether this is visible to all members or just the member you've selected. I would be cautious, though, about giving too many recommendations in this forum. This is probably more for acknowledging how well they've done. All right. So if you do this 2 or 3 times, at 2 or 3 meetings to 2 or 3 members, you will definitely stand out as a memorable person in your club.
Absolutely. Thank you. I will use that. Great. I don't think I have any other questions. It all makes sense.
In that case, Jill, thank you for coming today. Thank you for being the only one out of the 25 people who registered turning up. And that may be my fault that I sent them the reminder a little bit too late. Thank you for coming. You have my contact details, Program Quality Director at toastmastersd17.org. If you have any questions in the future at all, obviously contact your club officers first. And if you don't get any joy from them, feel free to reach out to me, regardless of what the issue is. The district structure here, Marie, the Club Growth Director, myself, Program Quality Director, and Jeff, the district director, as well as your area director and division director, we are there to support our members. Without our members, we have no clubs. So without members, we don't have a job.
Great, thank you. And Marie, if you could just not let Ian know that I'm trying to be humorous in my next speech, that would be greatly appreciated. And this has been